Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're talking about lockdown, and I'm going to file this, at least internally in my mind, kind of under an opinion piece. I've had a lot of correspondence from folks, talked to a lot of people over the course of about the last 10 days. You know, there's all these discussions about these variants and things out of South Africa, even though it's my understanding that the head of their medical system down there has basically said, you know, it's really not something that appears to be something to go crazy about just yet. But nonetheless, there seems to be a level of concern, which I would somewhat argue borders on hysteria regarding this. And so a lot of people have been asking me, well, how likely do you think it is that Thailand will go into lockdown again? They've just sort of been gauging my opinion. So let's be clear, this is an opinion piece. I have no idea what exactly the government could do, you know, tomorrow or 2 weeks from now or, 2 months from now. And the future is difficult to predict. However, I would first of all posit that, well, we have not actually left this lockdown, really. I mean, the so-called, whatever you want to call it, the third wave, whatever happened in April, the lockdown, the third lockdown, we'll call it that. That occurred in April, and we really haven't fully come out of that. Thailand hasn't, especially here in Bangkok, yes, there are some easing of restrictions, notably alcohol served in restaurants here in the city. But for example, Pattaya, it's my understanding, they're not really out of any kind of real lockdown. I mean, they're under pretty substantial restrictions continuing now. So do other provinces here in Thailand. And Bangkok, okay, yeah, there's some easing, and yes, it is now easier, far less quarantine, to the point of arguably saying there is no quarantine now. It requires one night stay in a hotel upon arrival, and then folks can just move on. But it's hard for me to say we ever came out of lockdown, first of all. And then the next question is, well, will they reimpose restrictions, go into a new lockdown? However you want to look at that, I guess it's a semantic point. But it seems unlikely to me because, things are kind of moving ahead and everything seems to be relatively positive. Now, I've been wrong in the past, and I'll certainly correct myself if I am wrong, but I don't think it's really likely we're going to see a reversing of the course that's moving right now. In fact, I think it'd be exceptionally economically detrimental to Thailand to do that. I think the tourism sector would suffer tremendously. I think there'd be a lot of consternation in the small business community were that to happen. Now, leaving that aside, anything's possible, but, it looks to me like, and I said this in another video when we were talking about they pushed off any notion that they were going to reopen the entertainment sector, sort of the nightlife sector, until January, mid-January. And when I did that video, I did it on the premise that, okay, if this is what we're going to do because we're trying to really just reopen, it made sense to me. And having seen, especially in the Western media, this flurry of hysteria on a certain level about this whole thing leads me to believe that Thailand made the right call. Let's just go ahead and get open right so that we don't open up and then get scared of our shadow and then just shut back down. Let's just do it one step at a time, and then when we're reopened, we'll just be reopened. So I'm hoping that that's the case, and hopefully we will see that be the case in the days and weeks to come.